This Tory Burch piece right here. None of this stuff is listed anymore. And you might say, well, that's because you never listed it. How do you know? Well, I know for a fact. Top of the morning to you. My name is Zadine. Welcome back to another episode. Alongside my beautiful wife, Melinda, we run a relatively small eBay reselling business, and we make videos vlogging our journey. You guys really enjoyed that last video of us getting that basically a $10,000 gross sale. Huge amount of shoes lot. We're actually going back this week, not in this video, but later on this week we will be heading back with a slightly different plan to get even more from that warehouse. In today's episode, we're going to pick and pack roughly 50 weekend orders. I'll show you a couple of highlights just so you can learn some new brands or some new styles. Hint, hint, some Birkenstocks and Danskos are already selling from that shoe lot because we've already processed a small amount of that. I'll also show you some warehouse updates and show you guys where we're at with re-inventorying everything and what we're going to do with the shoes. Give you an update on the inventory system. Let's jump right into it. So there's a cricket in here. We tried to locate it, but it was not wanting to be found. Notice this space here that used to be full of boxes. That stuff is now in the new inventory system. We did decide to go ahead and put shoes and larger, bulkier items all in the same inventory system, even though a bulky item may take the vast majority of one of these 24 by 8 by 8 boxes. It's still worthwhile just to keep everything uniform. All of the new shoes that we've been listing recently, we've already inventoried into this same magazine style inventory system that's all in alphanumeric order. And then the old shoes, which you see laying in the floor here, we're actually working on slowly getting those in as well. But the focus was to get all the old clothing into the new inventory system, and you can see there's a bunch of empty boxes because Melinda and I last week, Wednesday, stayed pretty late. We put in a good 13 hours that day, and we put a huge dent into it, and as you can see, there's only a few boxes left that need to go into this new system. If you're not familiar with it, it's pretty straightforward. Let me just show you quickly how it works. Once we list an item for sale, we, in the custom SKU, just put in the exact SKU number that belongs to that piece. So for example, this Patagonia organic cotton shirt that sold is an A00198. So the way we have it set up, A is going to be bottom shelf, and it's just going to go in alphabetical order up, and then a 5-digit number after it, and of course we can always add a digit, and so basically it goes to infinity, right? So A, 99999 is the the biggest number for A, but we're going A through Z, and then we're going to do A, B, and so on and so forth. So the space you see behind me right now eventually is going to be all of these shelves over and over again with a bunch of clothing and shoes in them. Once it sells, this is A198. I simply go down here. The smallest A is going to be over here, and then the largest A is going to be all the way down there. So A198 should be right before A202. Pull this one out, and shazam, Patagonia organic piece. That's the SKU. We reuse the poly bags and we just put a new sticker on each one. And then once in a while, so far we've done it twice, we consolidate, which basically means we squeeze everything starting from down there, and then so all the boxes start to empty as things obviously continue to sell, and then we just continue the system. We learned about this method from Daily Refinement, so Chris, thank you again for sharing. Check him out if you haven't. He shares a bunch of great tips on reselling in general. We've learned a lot from him, and I know a lot of people have as well. The next challenge that we have with this system is that we're going to take those large boxes that you see up there, and we're going to re-inventory those again. That's what these are here on the floor too. We're going to stick them into these smaller boxes as well, but as you can see, we're starting in Edine territory, which is up here, basically meaning no one else can reach it. which is pushing me to get this ladder fixed probably this week. It needs one of the casters replaced on the bottom. It's that one on the back. But we do have the casters and it should be pretty straightforward. Just need a big enough wrench for that, and should be able to fix it. I need to put in something here for a bottom step, and then obviously you would just climb on up to whatever shelf you need, pull your orders from there, and go for it. The shoes that are sitting on the floor right now, it's not pleasant, especially with our second employee starting this week. You heard that right. We hired our second employee, so we're definitely looking forward to her starting. We'll introduce her in our current employee at some point if they want to be on camera. That's 100% up to them. But it looks messy. It's horrible. It wastes a lot of time right now, so it's definitely next on the agenda. But the fact that we have all these empty boxes that we just put into the new inventory system, we're very proud of that achievement. That took a lot longer than we thought, but we're trying to maintain a steady cash flow as well so that we can live. And so we have to do as much as we can when we can to get it where we want it to be. Anyways, that's really the big update on the warehouse. As you can see, it's still a bit of a mess, but that's all right. We're making progress, and that's what's important. I'm gonna go ahead and grab those orders, and like I said, I'll mention a few of them. And then after that, I'm gonna prove to you that eBay does in fact delete listings. Why do they delete them? I'm really not sure, but I'm going to show you some very clear evidence of it. You're going to have to just believe me, I guess. Here's a decent sale. These Birkenstock Gizeh, if I'm pronouncing that right, so for 38 plus ship. Let's go find them. They're going to be in D489. So again, D is going to be up here, 489. 469, 487, 489. There they are. Those came from that haul. Obviously, we tried to prioritize all the sandals and whatnot first. I discovered the style name by simply just taking a picture of it and sending it to Google Lens. Google Lens identified it in like 10 seconds. So if you haven't tried it, download the Google app. And then they have a little camera icon. You can just take a picture or submit a picture, and it's going to give you a pretty good idea of what it is. Anyways, if you have any sandals, shorts, short sleeve stuff, summer stuff, it should be listing that now or prioritizing that, because obviously people are shopping for summer stuff because it's summer. Another one from that haul are these Danskos. They sold for 30 plus shipped. They're in location D494. So we're gonna go D494 is in here somewhere. 494 right here. Really nice condition. Pretty cool color. Kind of a rare color, I think. Dansko, again, great brand if you are not aware. Put that in the to be packed pile. Another brand you should know if you're going to be reselling any shoes or clothing is Madewell. These pants sold for 28 plus ship. Madewell is just a really solid brand. It sells really well for, I think, everyone. C522 is the location, so we're going to go C522. Notice how easy it is to pick from this system. There's really no thinking involved, right? You just go to the location and you find your item and you pull it out, and there it is. Obviously, it takes some attention to detail to make sure that you're putting the items in the correct spot. Marking them. What we started doing is adding the last photo on our eBay listing is a photo of the actual item next to the SKU number, so in case there's an error we can always go back to that. We've had a couple small mistakes, but nothing we could overcome. We're trying to make sure that we're perfect before this thing balloons into 10, 15, 20,000 listings instead of 3,000 listings. So as you continue to grow, those systems need to be as snug as possible, otherwise you're going to waste a lot of time. One of the things I love about this system, well, a few things. One, consolidating is super easy, so making space is very easy because you just push them to the left and empty boxes go to the right. Inventory control is super easy. You can just organize all of your listings by custom SKU, and because they're alphanumerical order, they'll be in order, so you can just simply go D198, check, yep, still listed. D199, yep, we still have it. D200, yep, wait a minute, here's a mistake, that's not what that is, so on and so forth. And then obviously, from a trainability point of view, when you hire someone to do this for you, like it doesn't get much simpler than that. There, you know, if you do everything right up front, it really minimizes the mistakes in the back. This one is a solid sale, but we try to stay away from blazers, and I'll tell you why in a second. 40 bucks plus ship, and the cool thing is it's D1 is the location. So I just have to go down to D, and look at that, D1. So the reason why we stay away from blazers, they're just a little bit too tricky. They take a little bit of extra time to photograph and to list and to identify the size. The size tags can be misleading depending on where they are made, and it tends to be a niche market, and it tends to be that we tend to have more returns when it comes to blazers. So we just don't sell them. We have a few in our store, probably less than 10. It was kind of like an experiment with one of our suppliers early on. We got a whole box of them, but we just decided it's not for us. And that's the beauty of this business, is that if you don't like selling a certain category or item, just don't sell it. Pass it on to someone else and move on with it. Nice solid sale here, Victoria's Secret pink. This is a lot of 5 leggings. These are worth, you know, 10, 15, maybe 20 bucks a piece if you play the long game, but we don't have much into them, so we lot them up. E174. I think lotting them up does 2 things. 1, it's a great deal for the buyer. 2, we get rid of a bunch of clothes all at once. Oh, can we get it out with one hand? Yes, we can. Can we push this back? Yes, we can. There. Got all of the eBay orders picked, so all of the eBay stuff is going to be on the top, and then on the bottom we're going to put the Poshmark stuff. So let's find those. The first one off of Posh just sold a couple minutes ago for 25 bucks. It's another pair of Dansko sandals. These are in location D492. D492 is right here. These are gone. All of these were listed just a couple days ago, so to see 4 or 5 pair already sell is a really good indicator, because as you can see, we have a couple of more pairs to go. And it's just really a big balancing act. Obviously, we want to process all of them as fast as possible. There's only so many days in the week. That's why we're hiring, right? We hired a second person. Just because we have all this inventory that hasn't been processed yet doesn't mean that we're not going to go buy more. We're in this business for long term. It's not just like, oh, let's just buy a little bit of inventory and run a warehouse. No, we're going to keep buying. We also have to keep buying from our continuously supplying suppliers, so we have to kind of balance everything. Plus, we just picked up another 550 units from another collection in Detroit, that same one. We're gonna grab this week as well. It's madness, but it is what it is. The last 2 sales are from Poshmark, and they're both shoes, and they're both from the old inventory system, which wasn't an inventory system, it was just shoes on shelves. So I have to go dig for these shoes. This is kind of hard to believe, right? That we just kind of threw them on shelves without any real organization. The truth is, when you're starting from home and you have very limited space, it's very difficult to find an inventory system that works. When you have a 2,000 square foot warehouse, it becomes a little bit easier because you have the space to work. So I'm gonna start digging. Luckily, one of them is a bright color, the other one is black, so it might take me 5 minutes. Might take me a minute, might take me 17 minutes. I'll report back. Found them both. It took me 12 minutes roughly. Also known as like 4 listings, right? Meaning the opportunity cost of me wasting 12 minutes to find those 2 pairs of shoes, where it should take roughly 30 seconds or less in a new inventory system, means that I've lost the productivity to do other work, or in textbook that's called opportunity cost. The first ones are these New Balance. They sold for 25 bucks. They pay ship on Posh. And then these Nike Mile Air Walker sold for 27 bucks. They pay ship on Posh. I'm gonna go ahead and get all this stuff packed up, and then we'll talk about, and I'll show you proof that eBay deletes listings. Everything is packed up. We got eBay orders here. We have Poshmark orders here. Poshmark, we just bulk print all of the labels. With eBay, we do still, for the vast majority of items, go through and weigh them out, and then of course it depends on if it's first class or if it's priority mail or flat rate or whatever. For jeans or anything that's over a pound, that's can be relatively flat, we do like to use the cheapest option. I think they're like $7.20 a pop. These are the flat rate envelopes. You get them for free, obviously, at USPS.com. I think the next one up is the padded, which is like $8.20 per. So, you know, it's not that much more expensive, but over several units, it definitely does add up. So we just fold them as, you know, as nice as we can. And then we stuff like a pair of jeans in that. Someone asked for Poshmark if it's all flat rate, or you know, if all the labels have to be priority mail packaging. They don't have to be the priority mail packaging, but if you read at the bottom of the Poshmark label, it does say that you can use flat rate USPS as well. So whatever works. Anyways, time to label, and then we'll finally discuss the treason of eBay. It has been several hours, and I'm still labeling packages. The printer or the computer died, or doesn't really want to work. I guess it's not officially dead. At the same time, my mom called and she needs me to drop her off to her doctor's at 3, so I had to. It's been a very busy last 2 hours, but I did pick up a new little Chromebook that I'm just setting up now so that I can get these labels printed. I found a really nice deal. I hope that it's relatively straightforward to install the Austek printer, because the installation did require a CD-ROM last time I did it, but it does have a web link, so hopefully I can just download the driver or the whatever I need to download online. So I'm gonna do that real quick. On April 12th, 2022, just a few months ago, we listed a bunch of Michael Kors stuff that we got in a shipment. It was all brand new with tags, including a really nice Tory Burch blouse. Higher end items, you know, Michael Kors retails for like, you know, $100 or so for those blouses. Retail price on eBay, they're like $20, $25 pieces, even brand new with tags. The Burch stuff is a little bit better, so we got everything processed and listed on the 12th. When we went to do our inventory, Q5 is the box that was next, and we started digging through it. It was actually our part-time employee Emily who started with box 12, and you know, she picked an item up, looked for it to put in a new inventory system, couldn't find it on our active listings. Okay, it happens. The next one, couldn't find it. The next one, couldn't find it. So she moves on. She's like, well, this must be in their old store, or maybe they didn't list them. These are all the pieces, and all of them are no longer on eBay, including these two Michael Kors pieces. Like I said, $100 or so. Brand new with tags, retail. And then there's another one, and then there's this Tory Burch piece right here. None of this stuff is listed anymore. And you might say, well, that's because you never listed it. How do you know? Well, I know for a fact. If you don't believe me, you don't believe me. What can I tell you? But I know for a fact, when I went and sold like this piece right here, let me show you. I know for a fact, like this piece right here, I struggled to find it because it looks so similar to these other pieces right here that I actually had to look around for a little while. And at that time, all of these were listed. Now, when I go to look for those pieces in a store, they're no longer listed. There's no reason that we would have deleted them. There's absolutely no reason. I don't know what the reason will be for eBay to delete them. We sell Michael Kors relatively often. We've sold some Tory Burch. We didn't get any email notifications that they're a Vero, or they're, you know, we're not allowed to sell them for whatever reason. So the only thing that I can think of is some sort of glitch in the matrix that eBay deleted the listings, and you know, it is what it is, right? Like, what are we supposed to do? Go back and ask them why? Who in customer service from eBay is going to answer that phone call and be like, oh yeah, you're right, here's that listing, let me reactivate it? I don't think that's a possibility. I don't know what to really do about it. I mean, I can shrug my shoulders and say it is what it is. I mean, that's all I'm going to do. And obviously, we're going to have to take new photos of those items and get them listed again and hope for the best. That's really all we can do. The other thing that we can do is do inventory control more often. And with this new inventory system, I feel like that's a lot more of a possibility than the old system. So we'll have to periodically, you know, I don't know if that's going to be every month, every quarter, pull every single piece, have an inventory day, and piece by piece figure out if the item is still listed or not, you know, verify, you know, if it's still a quality listing, so on and so forth. I feel like that's the only way to actually control it, because otherwise, you know, I don't know. Like I said, we didn't get any notification from eBay that, you know, they took them down for whatever reason. I'm curious, please let me know in the comments below if this has happened to you, if you suspect that this has happened to you, if you've figured out why it happened to you, what you did about it, and any other preventative control measures that you can suggest. We would greatly appreciate it. I don't know. I really don't know. That's really all I wanted to share on that subject matter. We're not going to quit eBay or, you know, get in a fuss or, you know, storm the headquarters with you know, forks and flames. It just kind of sucks because that's several $100s of revenue that they just removed and didn't even give us a chance. I don't know. Anyhow, it is what it is. Like I said, we're just gonna have to take the pictures again, put it back up for sale, put it in a new inventory system and move on. Appreciate you guys tagging along. It's been a very hectic day, a very busy week ahead of us. Lots of good stuff coming. Had a really nice conversation with a potential, you know, another associate that'll work for us. Another part-timer starts this week. It's time to ramp this thing up. We'll definitely keep you guys in the loop of what's happening on that front. Thank you very much again. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. If you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out our spreadsheet templates below. For the rest of the year, it's 75 bucks for the Pro. You'll be all set. 50 bucks for the basic. There's a Google version as well if you don't have Microsoft Excel. It does require a little bit of Excel skill. It's not 100% bulletproof, but it will help you out, especially if you are earning an income off of eBay. Keep your stuff straight, and when it comes to taxes, you're not going to be surprised. Thanks again. Take care.